Hi, I'm Joe. We're talking to Reverend Daniel M. Hayes from Gordon Memorial United Methodist Church, and the topic is young gentlemen, mentoring the young male. And of course, Reverend Hayes, let me give you an opportunity to sort of give our audience some information relative to this new concept that you have that is designed especially to mentor young men. I think you call it young gentlemen.
Right.
So let's talk about it from how that was a concept with you and what inspired you to develop this and some of the elements of that particular program.
One of the thing that I guess inspired my mind was my years of work with young men, and as they had continued to grow through athletics, through other avenues such as Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and also church-related activities. But as I've continued to watch young men, and today things are changing, and our young men of today and are getting into different areas of life, some that we wish that they would not get into, and so we want to kind of take a step back and go back to the old way that we used to respond to our adults, to our grandparents, to each other. So therefore, our United Methodist Men of the Gordon Memorial Church in the year 2000, at that time under the leadership of Brother John L. Fair, we had a United Methodist Men retreat, and we continue to have those retreats where we do our planning sessions each year. And during that particular retreat in the year 2000, I brought up the idea to the Methodist men of the church that we needed to start a program for our young men from the ages of 6 to 18. It was a program that was not just being a big brother, not just being a grandfather or a father, but to be a hands-on training program. It would be more of hands-on watching everything they're doing, training them how to be, to be transformed from boys into men. That was the whole idea. The United Methodist Men at that time was overwhelming acceptance of the program, and we did get this program started. Some of the things that we want to do is make sure that our young men know how to address each other, to deal with anger management. You know, to teach us.
Is that a real problem among our young people?
And I think it is. You know, rather than want to fight it for everything, pull a knife or a gun for every incident, we have to teach our young men and even our young women how to walk away from incidents. It's not being a chump to walk away. It's not being soft to walk away. Sometimes to walk away gives you a good standard, because young folk are under different pressure today. When we were young, or when I was young, we could fight and live to see another day.
Make up.
Right, be friends, as a matter of fact, before the evening. But now it's such a competitive type thing. If you touch me, I got to get you until I hurt you. So certainly anger management is something that we have to do. Another thing that we want to do, Dr. Haney, is to make sure that as our kids go to school, they are not in school angry about every time the teacher says something to them. They got to learn, we got to be responsible for training our young men to say to all adults, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you. We want to get back to those little things that we think would change the inner person and to help self-esteem in all of our people to grow. So those are some of the things that we want to do, is to deal with anger. We also want to talk about violence on each other. This is something that should not be tolerated. We have to teach them there is another way of violence. We have to teach young men how to deal with young women. that you don't hit young women. We even want to go back to the point of having young men to open car doors for girls. We want to make sure that they are calling the parent when they want to take a young girl out, or they want to go to a movie or something like that, that the young man must learn to call the parent and get the parent's permission. Give a parent a telephone number. Give a parent address, so the parent would know who their child is out with. When I was younger, and when some of the other people in the group were younger, one of the things we used to do is if we went out with your daughter, we would call your house, and not just ask the girl out, but we would tell the parent who we were, and then let them know, you know, we want to take your daughter out to such and such place, and is it all right with the parent? Because I think that when the parent understands what's going on, then I think you got a better situation altogether. So we want to deal with that also. We want to teach young men how to be able to go to a nice restaurant and eat a dinner with the certain utensils.
Okay, very good.
So those are some of the things we want to teach. We want to teach dress codes, not wearing your pants down, not having your shirt showing your body, even for young men. We want to teach young men to be the young men that we think that can move them forward in life. So,
and of course, this is why this whole concept of being a young gentleman, that this is some of the things that if they do that, they could be very, very successful.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Right. Right now we have, you know, we have boys, and it's not just, and we feel that as a time when boys grow up, the Bible teaches us that when I was a child, I did things as a child, but when I became a man, I put away my childish things. So what we're trying to do is train the boys to become young men, young gentlemen, to be able to respond in that way. And I think it will help them in a lot of ways. We want to do job interviews. So how to dress when you go to a job interview, what to say when you go to a job interview, how to respond when you go to a job interview. Because a lot of times our young men look at it and say, well, I didn't get the job because I'm black. I didn't get the job because of this or that. Sometimes it's the way we carry ourselves as to why we didn't get the job. So we want to change that so there won't be those type of issues facing our kids.
Very good. And of course, Reverend Hayes, let us take this second commercial break, and that'll give us an opportunity to come back and to have you to give us some additional information relative to your concept of young gentlemen. And certainly we want to continue this. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. We're talking to Reverend Daniel Hayes.